Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita session. So, हम कहाँ पे थे? Sorry. हाँ 36 पे थे तो आज हम 36 हमने ऑलरेडी शुरू किया था ठीक मतलब कुछ पोर्शन कवर हो गया था तो हम उसको एक्सटेंड करेंगे और 36 से 39 तक विल कवर तो टुडे वन इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक विल डिस्कस व्हाट इज कुल धर्म ठीक विल कम टू दैट अभी डिस्कस नहीं करेंगे तो 36 में हमने क्या डिस्कस किया था तो फिर से एक बार रिकैप के लिए ठीक वी वर एट द रीजन नंबर 3 फर्स्ट रीजन क्या था कंपैशन अर्जुन का नॉट टू फाइट देयर आर 5 रीजंस ही गिव राइट सो फर्स्ट रीजन था कंपैशन ठीक सेकंड रीजन था विथ whom he will enjoy if he wins third reason was fear of sinful reaction like and this is what we were discussing fear of sinful reaction. So what all we discussed before that, we'll repeat again. We'll have the recitation of the verse again. Papamevashrayee dasman hatvaitanat tataina tasman narhavayam hantum धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबन्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव पापं पापं पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मात् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नार्हावयं हन्तुं धर्तराष्ट्रान् सबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मात् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मात् धर्तराष्ट्रान् सबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम. Anyone from others? पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मात् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मात् So sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressor. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friend. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsman? Right. So we discussed what is sin. So what is sin? Anyone remember?
You asked about what is sin, so basically some morally incorrect philosophy that is sin. So, and you said that according to Shastra, whatever based on karmas, there are karmas decided so if you don't follow that.
Correct. So disobeying शास्त्रों के विरुद्ध और उससे भी important है भगवान के विरुद्ध. ठीक, disobeying the laws of God. That is the sin. A very simple definition. If God is saying to do something without thinking, no question asked. Take. If we are following it, then it is not a sin. But if we hesitate, if we think, okay, no, morally to ye sahi hai, or that other thing is correct, then it's a sin. Right? So that's all we discussed. Like we gave example of a criminal. So a lot of us, we think that we are doing all the good thing. हम किसी को we don't harm anyone. ठीक, हम किसी को दुख नहीं पहुंचाते हैं. सब अच्छे से रहते हैं, कोई परेशानी नहीं कर रहे. That means we are good people. We don't have to go to Bhagavad Gita class और हम sin नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम सब कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं. A lot of people think in the world, right? But that's not correct because it's their mental concoction. It's their mental speculation that they are doing all correct thing. Yes, morally true. They might be doing correct thing, but then it's not like they're doing. Uh, it's not like they're doing not sin, right? If they are not following the shastra, if they are not doing for the God, having God at the center of these things. So, like we give example of a criminal. अगर मैं कभी किसी स्टेट में गया, let's say I went to US, हम यहाँ पे लेफ्ट राइट साइड क्या ड्राइविंग करते हैं, लेफ्ट ड्राइवर की सीट राइट साइड होती है, राइट? यूएस वेट इज लेफ्ट साइड. Same thing. We do left side driving, they do right side driving. I don't know. I took out the car and I started driving. What will authorities do? They'll catch me, they'll throw me in the jail. या फिर चालान डालेंगे. फिर कुछ ना कुछ तो करेंगे कि I'm मतलब doing the wrong thing. So to do the correct thing, we need to know what is the correct thing. If we don't even know what is the correct thing, then how can we say we are doing the correct thing? Right? So we are not performing sin. First of all, we need to know what is sin. Right? So obeying the laws of God is the dharma. Right? Bhagavad tu sachat dharma tu sachat bhavan pranitam. Right? We discussed that. The real religion, the dharma, religion, is nothing but what is laid down by Supreme Personality of God. So we discussed those points. Then we discussed that there a moral dilemma comes, right? In this story, we discussed Asatthama ki story. We discussed that Krishna is asking Yudhishthir to go and tell a lie, but he hesitated. That becomes a sin. If we are saying if God is saying something for us to do, and we are hesitating, thinking of some moral nonsense or some moral code or conducts, right? That means we are committing sin. We are not following the instruction or laws of the God. So this is exactly what happened in this story. When Yudhishthir hesitated, his chariot actually touched the ground at that moment. Right? It was not because he told a lie. It was because he refused to tell a lie for a moment. Right? नहीं, lie. Ashwatthama मारा. Right? It was Ashwatthama which killed the elephant. But the intention was not for the elephant. It was to make them know it's not the elephant, but it is the Ashwatthama, the person who got killed. Right. So, okay. So we discussed that also. Truth hidden is as good as a lie. I was thinking in that way only. If I'm hiding the truth, that it becomes a lie. Right. But yeah, he was thinking in the mode of what is punya, what is pap, and all those things. But then obeying what could be more piety or punya than following God's order itself, right? उससे बड़ा तो कुछ पुण्य नहीं हो सकता, उससे बड़ा तो कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता. So that was the confusion which happened that time, right? So we discussed this also कि प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जनान विदुरासुरा न शौचं नापि चाचारो न सत्यं ते स्मृत्यते. Right? So प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जनान विदुरासुरा means ignorant people. We discussed that ignorant people, they don't know what to be done, what not to be done, right? And demons are also like that. The demons, they did not know कि क्या सही क्या गलत है, what we should do. And devatas were exact opposite. And then we discussed we should follow the devata rather than following the demon. So we discussed this also. Krishna as Madhava. Here in this verse, Krishna is take last way. His मतलब उनको माधव के नाम से अर्जुन बुलाते हैं. That also has a reason. Madhav means husband of goddess of fortune, right? So he's saying कि आप goddess of fortune हो, and then I'm going to fight, I'm going to kill everyone. Where is the fortune? Right? I'm only going to cause misfortune. So till here we discussed that. as a husband of goddess, he should induce. And also he's saying that, like, because you are goddess of fortune, you are the goddess of Lakshmi Devi, right? So you should not ask me to do something which is going to cause misfortune. Hmm? In a way, Arjuna is saying that Krishna should not instruct him to commit a sin. Right? We were here, we covered till here. But now the point here comes, so we'll take it. Hmm? Now the point is ki, is Arjun is going to commit sin? Let's not think on the God's order perspective or instruction perspective. But taking that apart, उसको छोड़ के क्या आप लोग को ऐसा लगता है कि if he is going to kill, he is going to commit a sin? शास्त्र के अनुसार. Why?
Because he's trying to protect the dharma as stated by
Okay.
the
Hmm.
God, and they are taking the things which are rightfully theirs.
Correct. ठीक है, so he's trying to protect dharma and he's trying to get things what is his. Okay. What else? Aggressor. आततायिना, यहाँ पे एक वर्ड आया था ना पहली लाइन में, ठीक है, हत्वैन हत्वैतान आततायिना. आततायी मतलब क्या होता है? Aggressors, और in today's term we say आततायी terrorist, right? उनके लिए आततायी यूज होता है. So Arjun is also knowing here कि these people are आततायी, these people are aggressors, and what you are saying is correct, right? He has to follow the dharma, but even as per Shastra, okay, Shastra permits killing of 6 type of aggressors. Six types of aggressors. Shastra even permits you can kill those people. Who are the first one? The poison giver. Okay. Second, the one who sets fire to the house. Third, one who attacks with deadly weapons. Fourth, one who plunders riches. Fifth, one who occupies another's land. Right. And sixth, one who kidnaps a wife. So, as per our Shastra, hey, Dharma Shastra, these kind of people, if we are getting, and if the other party against whom this is being done, if they are killing it, they will not incur any sin. So, भगवान का तो एक अपार्ट, ठीक है, वो तो है ही, ये सबसे बड़ा रीजन. But even for that, even उसके अलावा भी, if they are going to kill these people, it won't be sin. Right? So, इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि अगर आपका किसी ने प्रॉपर्टी ले ली तो बस अभिषेक प्रभु ने बोला था कि इट इज परमिटेड, आई किल्ड, ही इज द वन जिसने मुझे उकसाया था और बोला था पाप तो लगेगा ही नहीं. दैट डज नॉट मीन कि हम लोग विल स्टार्ट डूइंग दैट, कि कोई तलवार लेके सामने आ गया तो बस दैट्स इट, परमिट, लाइसेंस टू किल, आई एम जेम्स बॉन्ड, राइट? सो विल नॉट बिकम जेम्स बॉन्ड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. Okay. So why Shastra says that you should be able to kill, then why we should not be allowed to kill? We can go ahead and kill, right? पाप तो नहीं लगेगा, क्या प्रॉब्लम? नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, ये छतरी के लिए नहीं है, इट इज फॉर एवरीवन. So we have law of land also. तो ऐसा नहीं कि हमें ब्लाइंडली शास्त्र को ही फॉलो करना है, लॉ ऑफ लैंड. मैं तो इतना पहुंचा हुआ इंसान हूँ, आई डोंट केयर, ये छोटी मोटी चीजें, दीज जियोग्राफिकल बॉर्डर्स, आई डोंट केयर. ठीक, आज पाकिस्तान, कल पाकिस्तान था, आज नहीं है, कल को फिर कुछ और होगा. ठीक, आई एम एट अ बिगर लेवल, आई डोंट थिंक. तो वी शुड नॉट थिंक इन दैट मोड, बल्कि हमें लॉ ऑफ लैंड भी फॉलो करना है. क्योंकि यस, स्पिरिचुअली यू विल नॉट इनकर एनी सिन, यू विल नॉट कमिटिंग एनी सिन. ठीक, आपको कोई पाप नहीं लगेगा if something of that kind is happening, but then materially you will be in a lot of inconveniences. ठीक, जेल में पड़े रहोगे, शायद बहुत कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे, बहुत कुछ नहीं कर सकते, right? So when we are in public life, we should not blindly, like, if it conflicts with the Shastra, then we have to be a little practical and follow what is correct, right? Not just directly to the Shastra and leaving everything apart. Law of the land, the law of state also needs to be followed. Right. So these are the 6 type of aggressor which can be killed as per the Shastra. Now, What do you think Kaurava falls in which category? Well,
One set fire to
okay, occupies others' land, fire to the house, or
plunders
sorry, क्या बात है? Sorry.
plunders riches.
They fell into all six categories. They did all the tricks in their sleeves to kill Pandavas one time or the another. Right. So we'll discuss the first one. ठीक. पहला आपको फोटो दिख रहा है? Anyone knows this story? So today is story day, mostly. Huh? भीम की story. Right. So I'll repeat for the benefit of everyone. ठीक, बहुत सारे लोग को पता है, but it's always good to hear a story again. Right. So भीमसेन, he used to be very mischievous boy. ठीक, बहुत ही जैसे स्कूल में एक बुली होता है ना, सबको आई एम द मोस्ट स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट पर्सन, सब मेरे नीचे, सब आके मुझे सर बोलना करो. ही इज नॉट बुली, ही कैन नॉट बी. राइट. राइट. सो ही इज लाइक कि आके सुबह सुबह थोड़ा ठीक है, थोड़ा सलाम ठोको, और मतलब ऑब्वियसली स्कूल में सलाम नहीं ठोकेंगे, बट सब दब के रहते. मेरे स्कूल में भी थे. एवरीवन वुड हैव had encountered such kind of person in school. So Bhima was also kind of a bully. So he was very strong. So what he used to do, he would go pick up any of those Kaurava brothers, ठीक है, पानी में डाल वाल के थोड़ा डुबा उबा के ठीक बाहर निकालेंगे. पेड़ पे चढ़ रहे तो पेड़ पूरा मतलब he will shake the tree so that they will fall down. So every Kaurava used to be very मतलब they used to be too much मतलब परेशान रहते थे उससे, troubled by him. ठीक कि all the time he only does this kind of mischiefs only. So they had खुन्नस ही दिमाग में होता है ना, मतलब a lot of aggression towards him कि जब मौका मिलेगा, जब मिला ठीक, physically तो we can't do, but anytime we get the opportunity we'll not leave this guy. So they were in that mode. So what happened, one day Duryodhana, Dusasana, all these people, even not Karna much, but Duryodhana, Dusasana, all these people, they were like waiting for such kind of opportunity when I can take the revenge. So one day what happened, Duryodhan went to Sakri. And they were discussing this कि I want to just मतलब if this guy would be killed, my life would be easier. Right. इसको I feel like कि इसको मार ही दे. So Sakri also used to hate Pandava. Right. Anyone knows the reason? Why? So Sakri was, who was Sakri? Gandhari's brother, right? And actually Sakri wanted to Gandhari to get married with Pandu because Dhritarashtra was blind person. So he always wanted Gandhari to get married with Pandu. But when Bhisu Pitama brought her Gandhari, he got her married to Dhritarashtra. So he was having a grudge against Bhisu Pitama. And Pandavas were very close to Bhisu Pitama. So he knew that any harm done to the Pandava, right, will eventually hurt Bhisu Pitama. Right, so my revenge will be done. So a lot of time people do not, right, I will not directly harm the person directly, but I'll harm someone to or dukh hoga. Right, so he was in that mood. So when Duryodhana reaches to him that I'm very much troubled by this Bhim person, right, and he only bullies us day and night. So give us some way what we can do. So Shakuni tells that you see that he eats a lot, right? He eats like 10, 20 people's food at one time. Why don't you mix a poison? He will not even realize and he will die. So he liked that idea. Okay, yes, we can do that. So he told that to Dusasan, and Dusasan also, yes, we should do that. So one day they were all playing near to a palace, and that palace was near river bank. So all were enjoying. That day Bhima was very much okay. Duryodhan, he was too much. He was quite good with the Bhim that day, right? Okay, you are my brother and this and that. Think jo buttering. And when they all played along, उस दिन में भीम ने अपना bullying tactic, he threw some people in the water, ठीक है, उनको नचाया, किसी को इधर गिराया, किसी को उधर गिराया. He was doing all those things, right? And after that, everyone was tired. They came to have lunch. So Duryodhan asked Bhim, well, come sit beside me, we'll eat together. You and I are the ferocious eaters. Right. Duryodhana was also used to eat, not like other people, but more than other people, but not like Bhiman. So he said, "You also come. We'll eat all together." While they were eating, so Duryodhana mixed poison with the food, and good enough of poison. So Bhima ate all the food, but it did not affect him. So he again, after food, also more energy. Again, bullying started. Some more people he troubled. Some more Kaurava he threw here and there. But by the evening comes, he started feeling a little dizzy, a little sleepy, right? And everyone started going to their palaces and all. But Duryodhana understood ki okay, now this is starting to affect this guy. This poison is affecting. So everyone went. Duryodhana was like, he was just lying down, so everyone thought, okay, thoda, he's taking rest, he will come. So when everyone went, Dusasan and Duryodhan, they tied Bhim with the rope, and then they just rolled him towards the river and threw him in the river. Now Bhima was very heavy, right? He directly sunk inside the river. And when he was sinking, he mysteriously reached a portal, uh, pathway which took him to the Naglok. Right. And who's the king of Naglok? Anyone knows? Huh? Right. Vasuki. Vasuki. And Vasuki, anyone knows who's Vasuki? Okay. But Vasuki का और एक और importance. He is a part of a very big event in our Sanat. Samudra Manthan, he was the right. So he reached to that planet, Naglok, where a lot of snakes used to live. Now, when he reached there, these snakes saw him. Okay, this is some human who is falling down. They got scared because he was big, heavy, and uh, yeah. So they got scared. They started beating him. And by God's Leela, right? This poison was perfect antidote with the poison for the there the snake bite was perfect antidote to the poison, right? So when they were beating him, he regained consciousness and he woke up. He broke all his ropes and all, and he started killing all those nags because they were beating him. Right. So some Nag they ran away and they told Vasuki that there is a person and this and that. He's very strong. He'll do this. So along with Vasuki ke paas at that time there was a person called Arka. So when they were telling about this person, he understood who is this person. He must be Bhim, right? And how also he understood because Arka is nothing but the great grandfather of Maharani Kunti, right? So he is a ancestor of Bhimdev himself. So he understood, and he brought him. Like after that, they went and they brought him to palace, and he was poisoned. So they treated him for 8 days, and when he regained a little consciousness, a little more, he was a little. The poison's effect went down, so they gave him a ras. There is a naglu, there is a ras. They used to drink, and one jar of ras they used to drink across days. Those nags. But when Bhima got that ras, he was like he this beast jar like that he drank everything, right? And he gained a lot of. So that rasa like they told like you will gain 10,000 elephants strength if you drink that ras. Right. So he drank past 10 जार तो एक बार में उठा के everyone was astonished. One jar takes him weeks to finish, and this guy took so many jars in a one go. Right. So everyone was astonished, and he drank so much of that rasa that he again slept for 8 days just to digest that rasa. Right. So after 8 days again he regained consciousness, and he was very strong, very powerful. And Arka and Vasuki said that you have regained, your family would be worried for you. Right, you go. So he went back. And when everyone saw, everyone was like, okay, at least Pandavan. They were like very happy. They all were thinking that he is dead. Right, he's gone. But when he came, everyone was very happy. So Duryodhan, he got surprised. How did this guy come back? Right, but then on the surface, superficially saying, "Oh, I'm very happy that you did. That I'm very happy you came back and this and that." So after that, he told Yudhishthira and other Pandava what actually happened. He was poisoned and all those things. But Yudhishthira then again said, like, don't take this matter more, like, take it forward because it's a matter of the dynasty, right? If this thing goes outside, our dynasty will be disreputed. So that was one time he was trying to be poisoned, and another time again he was trying to be poisoned. So after some days, again Duryodhan thought, okay, this time it did not work. Let me try it again. So he gave a lot of this poison, the Tura poison, now this time, in his food, and this time Yuyutsu. Anyone know Yuyutsu? We discussed last time. Who's that? Oh. He is 101st son of Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra did not just have 100 sons, but he had even one more son from a maid servant. And he was a good guy, like he was very close to Pandava. So Yuyutsu came and told, this is poison. Bhima said it's okay, doesn't matter. He ate all the food because he already had the rasa, he had a lot of strength, so it did not affect him and he bullied them a lot, even more. Okay. So that was first incident when, so the Kaurava, they were giving him a lot of opportunity. As per Shastra, they can actually kill him any point of time. Right? One of the aggressors. So first one was one who was poison given. Right? Second incident, Lakshagri. Right? So now when they were started getting younger, adolescent, and in the in the uh, in the state that now they will be taking care of the kingdom, right? So Pandava's popularity was gaining a lot, and everyone used to love Pandava because of their nature, right? They were dharma parayana, they were following all the dharma, they were very kind. So all the population were loving him, and Duryodhan was very worried because of that. So everyone used to say that okay, Yudhishthir he banenge Raja. It was like that. The next king will be Yudhishthira. So Duryodhan was like having a big grudge already, right? So he wanted to just make them away from this Hastinapur. So he goes and tells Dhritarashtra ki, I want to be the king, right? And you cannot have, everyone is saying Yudhishthira will become the king, and that cannot happen. I should be the one who will be the king. I'm your son, right? And Dhritarashtra Putramo, and he was already a spiritually weak person. So he also got influenced by him. So he was saying like, okay, there is a place called uh, Varnavrit, I guess. Varnavrit. Right, there's a place called Varnavrit where there's a Mela of Shivji that happens. So it's like, okay, let's send them there and then you rule this kingdom here. In the meantime, what they will do when they are there for some time, we will give them gifts to all those people, right? We'll behave very good with all the praja, right? All the population. They are, then by the time they come back, they'll be favorable to us. So that was his plan, long plan will hatch so that people will be very favorable to Duryodhan and they will choose him king, right? So like that. So every minister of the Sabha, every minister, they started talking about Varnavrat in like one way or other, like in Varnavrat. So Yudhishthir was, and they also started behaving very good with these people, Pandavas. Yudhishthir was like कि दाल में कुछ तो काला है, like something is cooking on, but क्या हो रहा है समझ में नहीं आ रहा. Okay, let's see, let's go with the flow. We'll see what happens. So one day he was like, let's wait to what is happening. One day Dhritarashtra also says, Ki Yudhishthir, there is a place called Varnavir, right? You should go, and the people are very good there. There is a Bela, right? And people are willing to beat you, all of you Pandavas. They want to get ruled under your ruling for some time, right? So they are very much eager to have you as their king for some time, right? So why don't you go and live there for some days? So Yudhishthir like, okay, so that was the whole plan. But he said, okay, let's see. Now they all went. He came to tell this whole thing to Pandavas, and Vidur also know the plan. So in Varnavrat, what their plan was, they will make a mahal for Pandavas, which is made of lakh, okay, and ghee and all those things, which is highly inflammable. And the plan was कि one day they'll just set fire to the palace, everyone will die, and problem solved. Right. Now Duryodhan will become king. Easy. So Vidur came to know about this plan. So he came to tell this to Pandava. But there were other people also, and he did not want everyone to know that. So what he did, he told in a coded language and language of a tribe. There's a tribal language which not many people knew, only the tribe and Yudhishthir knew that language. And not only the language, but also in coded manner. He told that to Yudhishthir. And apart from Yudhishthir, no one actually could understand what they taught. So when he went, so Kunti Maharani and other Pandavas like, what did you guys talk? We could not understand anything. So he told that Vidura told me that the plan is uh, to have a palace which is highly inflammable, and we'll be living there. One day they will just burn the palace so that we'll die. But Vidur has made a way for us to escape. We just have to wait for the right signal when we have to escape. In the meantime, we'll just follow what is happening. So they all went to Varnavrat, and uh, when they went inside, when Pandava went inside, Yudhishthir could see that what is the palace made of. All the lakh, there was a ghee, right? It is made of ghee, lakh, and other inflammable materials, right? So it was highly inflammable. Lakh is a kind of wax. So I said, okay, so that is the plan. So what they used to do every night, one of the Pandava, they will wake up, they will be awake, and they will just keep a watch so that no one can set the fire. So Pulochan was the guy who was Dhritarashtra, one of the main guy, right? And he made this mahal on his instructions. So Pulochan was also living there along with some of his Sainiks. So one day, after 1 year passed, so what happened? Like they still thought it's been long time. Hmm. So he wanted to. He gave a feast to the people of Varnavrat. He will have a feast, and today is the day. Will yeah, but one person came actually before that from Vidur side, and he also told the same thing what Vidura said in the similar manner. So he understood he is the person sent by Vidura. So he said, like, I have dug a tunnel there, I have mined there, and that will take you outside the palace, deep inside the jungle. Right, so you can run away. So they decided, okay, today is the time. He gave the feast. In that feast, one Nisar lady came with 5 of her sons. Right. Some of the version of Mahabharata mention that. Some version actually do not mention this. Right. So the version which mention most popular ones. So we'll take that. So she came with the 5 of her sons, and they drank a lot. So much so they drank that they just went inside the mahal somewhere and they slept off. No one knew about them. Right. They slept off somewhere inside the mahal. And that same day Yudhishthir planned to just run away. So what they did, like when everyone was asleep, Pandava woke up, they set the fire to the palace, and they took the tunnel, went out. Right. Now, when there was a fire, everyone inside the palace, they were all Puluchan, is all people, these ladies and all. And because this lady and 5 sons, they were burnt, so everyone thought later on that it's a Pandava and Kunti who got burned. Right. So that was the story, like for the second aggression, right? The one who sets fire to the house. At that time also, they are dharmic way. They are allowed to kill these people, the Kauravas, right? Third one who attacks with deadly weapon. Where that happened? Correct. We are at the same setup.
God,
It's a battlefield. Everyone is with the deadly weapon, ready to attack. Kern, not Kern, not only about Kern. Everyone has deadly weapon to attack, right? So by Shastra, they are allowed to kill, right? Fourth, who plunders riches? One who plunders riches. Think,
Duryodhana.
right? Anyone know? Anyone remembers this incident? What is that?
To be the king.
Okay, not the story. What is the event? The storytelling is my job today. Wealth property.
Chaurus.
So that is a chorus. One line answer. Right. So that is a gambling game which happened. Chorus. Dice game. Yes. So they planned. Okay. So Sakari challenged Yudhishthir to play for the chorus game, and there they assert all the property, the fourth and fifth region both, right? Assert the land, plunders the riches, all the wealth also they took away, and um, one who occupies other's land, and land also they took. So by this also they are allowed to kill Kaurava. Then sixth, one who kidnaps a wife. Anyone remembers? मतलब मैं महाभारत के perspective हूँ. Jayadratha is also part of Kaurav army only, right? And even during the gambling game also they snatched Draupadi and then they tried to disrobe her, right? So that is also kind of kidnapping, although in front of them, but it qualifies. So Jayadratha incident when he kidnapped Draupadi, right? So all these incidents, Kaurava did every single aggression which make them the kind of aggressor which are allowed to be killed. Right. By Shastra, Pandava were actually allowed to kill them without incurring any sin. So even if we put aside God's instruction point, right, by Shastra also, by following Shastra also, they are allowed to kill Kauravas here. Correct. So that was also one of the reasons which six kind of aggressor here studying. So Arjuna said that such aggressor are at once to be killed and no sin will be incurred by killing such aggressor. But Arjuna was not an ordinary person. He was saintly by nature. And this kind of saintliness, however, is not for Kshatriya. We'll discuss that point later. But हाँ Pranav.
छोटा सा
हाँ
हम यहाँ पर बोल रहे हैं 4.1 one who plunders riches.
Hmm.
So let's say there is a person, let's say Kans.
हाँ
Kans was also a rich person.
हाँ
Okay, and if somebody is trying to steal from him because Kans took money by force, he himself plundered actually, right? So if I'm a good man and taking money out from him and distributing the wealth among the people who got plundered earlier, so would we be in the fourth point or
एक हिंदी में कहावत है ना, चोर का पैसा चोर का नहीं होता, ऐसे कुछ सिमिलर लाइन. अगर हमने कोई पैसा चुराया, या हम कहते ना, मतलब वन वे टू से दैट कि जो भ्रष्टाचार का पैसा होता है, ठीक है, that does not stay for long. The whole thing means that if I am gaining some wealth by doing some sin or in a immoral way, right, unethical way, that's not really, it doesn't really belongs to us, right? So that is the answer of your question. अगर चोर का पैसा आप चुराते हो तो probably आप वो चोर नहीं हो, क्योंकि वो ऑलरेडी चोरी का ही है, मतलब वो खुद उसका पैसा नहीं, right? But आप चुराते हो किस लिए यूज करते हो, that matters a lot. How are you going to use it? Are you going to use it for your own enjoyment? Then yes, you will be incurring sin, right? वही आप पैसा चुरा के आपने एक मंदिर बना दिया बड़ा और चोर को इनवाइट किया और रिबन काटने के लिए, तो तुम्हारा ही पैसा है. Maybe you are not going to incur this. Any other question? Any other question? No?
Six sins shall you can.
Um,
Six
six kind of aggressions. It's not six sins. It's six kind of aggression. There could be hundreds of more sins, but it's not the comprehensive sins list. It's six kind of aggression who are allowed to be killed as per Shastra. हाँ अब आप क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे
Aggressor or मतलब is aggressor different?
एग्रेसर एंड व्हाट इज डिफरेंट
मतलब क्या है?
एग्रेसर आताताई टेररिस्ट एग्रेसर मतलब who is showing aggression towards you ठीक you are on the road you are driving a car and then maybe you just entered into wrong lane or just went there and then somebody अरे कैसे कर लिया ऐसे कैसे लड़ जाते ये हो जाते वो हो जाते ठीक आके आपको मारने लगे रॉड वॉड निकाले बेसबॉल बैट निकाले मतलब I'm not saying you are going to kill don't kill him right but that is aggression right that's aggression so aggressor मतलब someone who terrorizes the person in front right so हिंदी में इसलिए हिंदी मतलब in Hindi Sanskrit there are a lot of words which can आताताई ठीक जो आतंक फैलाते हैं right there are a lot of words but in English you don't have many words for a lot of things so so what is the difference I did not get your question is that clarified okay what is aggressor that was the question okay someone who terrorizes other people okay so this point we are discussing like sorry just kidding. So Arjuna was not an ordinary person and he was a saintly person. So he was on any devotee of the god is he thinks in a kind way, he has compassion, right? He or she. Right. So Arjuna was also like that. So he was thinking that why to get into all this thing, right, and kill everyone. More in a saintly way, he was thinking. His mode was that, right? But what Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain here, like this is not for the Kshatriya. So think of, for example, of Lord Ram. Lord Ravan, sorry, Lord Ravan. कल को कोई ये लीक कर देगा और I'll be hanged, right? So Ravan kidnapped Sita Mata, right? And by Shastra or by anything, right? Ram is going to kill him. But then if he would have thought, अरे ठीक है भगवान है चलो छोटा मोटा crime है, I'm thinking in that way that leave him. ठीक anyway I will do one चुटकी बजाऊंगा वैसे भी सब कुछ खत्म हो जाएगा. So, but he did not think that because he had to show example. He has to set an example. As a Kshatriya, it is my right if that kind of aggression happens. Right. It is my right and it is my duty to fight that other person and bring the kidnapped person. Right. So he set that example. He did not think the cowardice there. So a lot of time there is a very famous lecture of Srila Prabhupada, like Vaishnavism is not cowardism. A lot of people comes to say that, and even now you would have heard a lot of times that कि इस्कॉन वाले तो केवल क्या कहते हैं भगवान का नाम लेना सिखाते हैं ये करते हैं ठीक है कैसे छत्री बनेंगे लड़ना कौन सिखाएगा ये करेगा वो कौन करेगा ठीक तो कभी भी वैष्णविज्म it never tells that if any such kind of thing happens to you you just go ahead and बस भगवान का नाम लो no if you have to take a weapon you will be taking a weapon it is your duty so Vaishnavism is not cowardism right anytime it was required even who can be bigger Vaishnav than like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself right one time he was Prabhu Nityananda he was attacked by Jagai Madai right he summoned his Sudarshan Chakra even that time he got very furious that he summoned his Sudarshan Chakra right so Vaishnavism is not cowardism but it should only be done when it is at most necessary not like कि सड़क पे थोड़ा सा लड़के बस शुरू हो गया वैष्णविज्म ठीक that is not Vaishnavism right only when it's really required not any time so that's the example of Lord Ram is given here so one more thing comes here some Acharya explains that there is always conflict between Arth Shastra and Dharma Shastra. Our Shastra also say two things about same condition, moral dilemma, we read about those things. So, one incident comes for the Aswathama. When Aswathama killed all the 5 sons of Draupadi, he after killing, he thought that he killed Pandava, but later on, because everyone was sleeping, it was dark, he thought he killed Pandava, but then he realized that, or everyone realized that it was son of Draupadi who were killed, right? Son of Pandava only. So Arjuna was the whole Pandava army. Arjuna and all the Pandava, they were chasing him, and he got very scared. At the end, like only one thing, only one way out was there. He released Brahmastra on Arjun, and there were like thousands suns effulgence in the whole sky. That much bright it became. Arjuna got scared. What is happening? So he asked Krishna, "Ki what is happening?" So Krishna tells him ki he has released Brahmastra, and to counter, there is only one way. You want to also release Brahmastra, right? So Ashwatthama knew how to release Brahmastra, but he did not know how to take that. Same way like Abhimanyu knew how to enter the Chakravyuh, he did not know how to come out of it. So the only way to counter was like he cannot take it back, release Brahmastra. Now this 1,000 suns, it became 10,000 suns when they all collided, the whole universe shook, right? And everyone, all the Jiva got scared, everyone was scared, what is happening? But yes, that last resort for Aswathama also went off. So they caught Aswathama. Now, Aswathama is son of Dronacharya, right? In a way, क्या मतलब he is nothing but the Guru ka son for Pandava. So when he was brought in front of Draupadi, so Draupadi being a lady, she got like her heart melted seeing his condition कि ऐसे उसको घसीट के ले आ रहे, ठीक है? He's dragged and then he is the Guru's son, right? So she said, okay, leave him, ठीक है? Being a lady whose sons were just killed, it's a big. So that's devotee, quality of a devotee, compassion, right? She's not a Kshatriya, by the way, right? Kshatriya, right? But then Bhimsen and others were like, no, no, kill. If you will leave him, I will kill him for sale. So Arjuna was in moral dilemma, what to do, right? My wife is saying this, my brother is saying this. So a lot of time that happens at home. सास कुछ कह रही है, पत्नी कुछ कह रही है, या माँ कुछ कह रही है, पत्नी कुछ कह रही है, होता है कि नहीं? मॉरल डायलेमा करें क्या? इधर क्या करेंगे तो उधर से पड़ेगी, उधर क्या करेंगे इधर से पड़ेगी. That moral dilemma comes at home. All Prabhujis are they are quite happy understanding that perfectly. And the bachelor Prabhuji, you will see. You will also come to that. Right. So here Arjuna was also in the same dilemma कि क्या करें? Wife is saying this and brother is saying this. ठीक है. So as usual, when you are in moral dilemma, you are a devotee, where you will go? Krishna. Right. So he asked Krishna. Now what does Krishna say? So Krishna says that there are two things. As per Shastra, thing, the same thing, that someone who attacks you with deadly weapon, you are allowed to kill. And also as per Shastra, you cannot kill your Guru's son. So it tells that two things. Now you decide what you have to do. So that's a very important point here, right? कभी भी कृष्णा directly आदेश नहीं देते थे. He never used to directly give instruction. No, I'm asking you to do this. You have to do this. Even when Bhagavad Gita like completed, at the end he said, "Now I have told you everything. Now it is on you to decide what you want to do." That happens in our life also. Correct. A lot of time we think कि भगवान क्यों नहीं है? But a lot of time people ask question कि if God is so powerful, why doesn't He put the good thing in our mind? Why doesn't He change our mind and make us do the great good thing and not to do bad thing? It is not God's job to do. It is our job. The decision making power is with us, right? क्योंकि कर्म हम ही करेंगे, फल हमें ही भुगतना है, right? So one thing very important we need to know. God has given us all the scriptures, the Guru and all those parampara. We can go and follow what is correct thing. But He will not put the thought in mind ki no, let's change the mind and do this. That He will not do. The ultimate decision maker will be us. Right? So very important point for us to understand this. बहुत सारे लोग भगवान को ब्लेम करते हैं, मेरे साथ ये हुआ, भगवान क्यों हुआ? क्योंकि हमने ऐसे काम किए. That's why that happened. It's not God. Someday we'll discuss about that. that particular quality, right? So Arth Shastra says that don't kill elders, guru, son, and all those things. That is Arth Shastra. But Dharma Shastra says that you can kill the aggressors, like those 6 kind of aggressors. So now Arjun, he said, okay, now I know what to do. So what he does, that I will kill him also, I will not kill him also. So what he does, he just shaved off all the hairs of Ashwatthama, right? And then he took out his weapon and just threw or released him. Now you go. Now as a Kshatriya, this is like a living as a dead. When you're, it's the biggest humiliation for any Kshatriya. कि जब आपका बाल शेव कर दिया जाए, when all of your hairs are shaved, all your weapons are taken and you are just thrown away. Like a, जैसे कहते हैं एक अमिताभ बच्चन का डायलॉग, ठीक है, फेंके हुए पैसे को तुम्हें हाथ में नहीं लेना सब मूवी, राइट? सो इट इज लाइक दैट, उस टाइप की मतलब ये तो छोटी बेइज्जती है, राइट? बट ऐसी बेइज्जती कि उसको मारा भी नहीं। एक क्षत्रिय के लिए मरना इज द बिगेस्ट अचीवमेंट, राइट? हाँ हाँ, मतलब वो भी हुआ, मतलब वेपन, दैट्स आल्सो वन पार्ट ऑफ वेपन, ठीक? तो दैट इज आल्सो वन ऑफ द, वो एक्चुअली परीक्षित महाराज के बाद हुआ था, अभी नहीं हुआ। हाँ, अभी ये नहीं हुआ, ठीक? तो उसके वेपन छोड़ के बाल छील के he was released and it was the biggest humiliation for him, right? And then that only, that's when he actually decided to take revenge and then he decided to kill Parikshit, like later on, right? That तब बड़ी निकाली गई थी। So okay, so यहाँ पे हमारे ही शास्त्र, ठीक है, they are talking about 2 things. Arth Shastra says that on one hand, you cannot kill your elders, your guru, son, and all those people. Dharma Shastra says that you can actually kill. What to follow? What to follow? Both are Shastra, right? There's a moral dilemma. So people say that follow the Shastra. मैं तो कौन सा वाला? अब क्या करें? अर्थ या धर्म? क्यों धर्म सर? तो शास्त्रा also has hierarchical order, right? जैसे हमारे पुराण का भी hierarchy है, ठीक? अगर आप तमोगुण वाले हैं, आपके characters or people of तमोगुण, they are prescribed to read certain kind of Purana, 6 type of Purana which are mainly recommended to Tamasic people. Then there are next 6 kind, they are recommended to Rajasic people. Then there are top 6 kind, they are recommended to Sattvic people. Because क्यों ऐसा है? क्योंकि आप एक मीट खाने वाले एक सिनर आदमी को उठा के दे दो ब्रह्म वैवर्त पुराण और पद्म पुराण पढ़ने के लिए, विच आर सात्विक पुराण, जिसमें ये लिखा रहता है कि तुमको भोग लगा के ही खाना है, तुमको ये सारी चीजें करनी है, ऑल दोस थिंग्स आर, मतलब हाई क्या कहते हैं, हाई स्टैंडर्ड्स आर मेंशन्ड. ही कैन नॉट फॉलो दैट, ठीक? आप इंटीग्रेशन एक एलकेजी और क्लास फर्स्ट के बच्चे को नहीं सिखाओगे. You have to go step by step. That's how our shastras are also, right? So shastras also have hierarchy, and Dharma Shastra is above Arth Shastra, right? So he has to follow the Dharma Shastra instead of Arth Shastra. So that is the one thing which some of Acharya mentions here, right? Now, now Arjuna is using the similar logic in the same manner. In this purport, it is mentioned that Arjuna is using the same logic as Arth Shastra, that even though it is Dharma Shastra, that Arth Shastra which allows aggressor to be killed versus Dharma Shastra which prohibits elder to not ulta ho gaya, take not to be killed. So he So Arjuna considered rather than killing his kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on the grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary body happiness. Why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsmen? Again, extension of his saintly behavior. He was thinking that I, being a devotee, right, I should show some compassion and I should not kill these people. Now, taking the same logic forward, what he does here is he continues, he continues with the similar logic, Arthashastra, Varshidharma Shastra, and all those Shastra, that a Kshatriya actually I think it will come later on. Okay, that will come later. Take, I will discuss that. ठीक है, तो he considered like again like it will cause misfortune, it will not be profitable. I don't see any profit in that. It is only misfortune. So why should I take sin by killing my own kinsman? ठीक है, and then well because he is not thinking on the point of view that sin is not obeying God's word, right? So he is again continuing with the same logic in the next next verse also, next two verses. So these two will read together. यद्यप्येते न पश्यन्ति लोभोपहतचेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् कथं न ज्ञेयम् अस्माभिः पापादस्मन् निवर्तितो कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यन् अभिजनार्दन. Anyone from Professor? One.
यद्यप्येते न पश्यन्ति
यद्यप्येते न पश्यन्ति
लोभोपहतचेतसः
चेतसः
कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्
Next.
कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापात् स्मने कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यत् इत्या जनार्दन.
From others. यद्यपेते न पश्यन्ति लोभो अर्थचेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् अस्माभिः पापादस्मन् निवर्तते कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यन्ति जनार्दन. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O Janardhan, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sins? Right. So Arjun is still continuing with the same point. That they are overtaken by the greed, right? To serve more land, to have more wealth, right? And they are not able to understand. Their mati is gone, intelligence is gone, right? But we are able to understand this. Why then we should act in this? Because we are intelligent. Our intelligence is not lost. Then why should we engage in this kind of sin? That is what Arjuna is trying to say in these two verses, right? So here he says that Lobho Pahat Chetasa thing. And then Katham Nagiyam Asmam, right? Papa Dasman Nivartita. So Kaurva's intelligence is destroyed by the greed. So our Shastra explained there are three gates of hell, three gateway of hell. Right? कौन से? इसको पता है? Greed, anger, lust, greed and anger, right? So if we are covered or following or under influence of any these three or a mixture of these three, right? It's a certain path we have to go, like the person has to go to, right? So here the Kauravas are in the mode of like they are affected by the greed here. and because of this, they have lost all their intelligence. But not but okay. The similar way we can see today's world also, right? The whole world is driven by these three things: lust, anger, and greed. All the most of the wars you see in the world happens because of someone's ego, right? Or because this guy did not give me enough respect, or for some lust means kamna here, right? To desire of getting something which is not ours, or some greed, similarly, right? To get more and more things as possible. So all the problems, the three, one or the other reason are related to that. Correct. So today world you can see like everyone wants to be crorepati. कौन बनेगा करोड़पति? Right. No one wants to be कौन बनेगा क्या?
Hajarpati.
हाँ?
Hajarpati.
हजारपति तो खैर मतलब
कौन
वो
बनेगा
तो गवर्नमेंट ही दे देगी. कौन बनेगा गुणवान? कोई गुणवान नहीं बनना चाहता, सभी करोड़पति बनना चाहते हैं. खरबपति अरबपति या मटेरियल पे ही रह जाएंगे. ठीक. Then there will be some kind of ठीक. तो आज के जमाने में कोई गुणवान नहीं बनना चाहता. No one wants to become गुणवान, but everyone wants to be करोड़पति. So the same state we are seeing in today's world also. Now, Arjuna is saying here is that they have lost their intelligence because of the lobo pahat chetasa, right? And because of that, they are doing the mitra dohe chapatkam. They are even willing to kill their own family, friends, all the relatives because of this greed. They are not able to understand. But Krishna is saying that Giyam asmabhi, but we are intelligent. He is not saying I am intelligent. Think how intelligent is Arjun. He's saying, but we are intelligent. We means you and me. At least we are intelligent. Then why are we doing these kind of things, which is going to cause them misfortune? So very intelligently, he's like taking Krishna also in his side. Okay. So, like we discuss a lot of time that Arjuna is a great scholar. He knows all those shastra and all those things. Correct. And if he gives logic, if someone like us are there who don't know the shastra, probably we would हाँ 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 जो तुम कर रहे हो वही सही है. You are absolutely right. ठीक. By giving so many examples, we would have been followed him. But then he is not in front of ordinary person, but he is in front of Krishna. So very intelligently he has put the word here asmabhi. That due to greed they are willing to fight their relative. They can't see their intelligence is lost. But we can see. And when so the point comes here like if ignorant person is doing some sin, correct? Like I don't know that I have to drive left side only, and then by mistake I did, and the police person realized okay ठीक है मतलब this guy did not do so by mistake, so he may let him go. Okay ठीक है, fine, next time you take care, or maybe just a little fine for it, correct? But if someone who knows that this is not correct thing and then he does it willingly, obviously he will be punished. So same thing like comes for let's say there is an ordinary person and he is indulged in an immoral activity. He may not get any sin because he is ignorant. He does not know what is sin, what is not, and all that. So he will not get that kind of that gravity of the punishment. But then the sannyasi, he is indulged in an immoral thing. Think of that. He is certainly going to get a huge punishment, like bigger, way bigger punishment. Because a sannyasi, being a sannyasi, must know what is sin, what is not. Right? That is his duty to know all those things. And after knowingly and intentionally, he performed that kind of thing, immoral activity. So he will, so he will certainly have the bigger punishment. So more when he does this kind of thing willingly. Right. So that's what the point here is trying to say, that we know that this is a sin. You and me, Krishna, you and me know that this is a sin. These people are ignorant; they don't know. Then why are you asking me to? Why are you asking me to do the sin? Right. When you know this. So Srila Prabhupada explained this here in a very intelligent way. This also what Arjuna is trying to say. So as per Shastra, like if a Kshatri is challenged by someone, they must accept the challenge and fight. Right? That is the thing. But if they know the outcome of this particular fight would be evil or it will be only misfortune, then they can actually refuse to fight. That is also allowed as per Shastra. If a Kshatriya challenged and he does not take the challenge to fight, then he will be committing a sin. So all the sins we discussed, sins are as per the Varnashram Dharma also. Right? But then if a Kshatriya he knows that the outcome of this, the result of this would be only misfortune or it's a evil, the intention is evil, then he can actually refuse to fight and there will not be any sin. And Arjuna knows this thing. So he's trying to say this here. That I know that the outcome of this is only misfortune. It's an evil outcome. He wants to, like everyone would be killed. All the elders will be killed. Kulakchaya. Kulakchaya means the destruction of the family and family tradition. Huh? The four dharma, varnas, all will be destructed. So I know the outcome of this. So I can actually, by the Shastra, I can refuse to fight. It is allowed. That intelligent he was. So that's what I'm saying. Like if we were in front of Arjuna, he would have certainly convinced us in one or two reasons itself. Right. But he was not in front of ordinary people like us. So a Kshatriya, Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Right, as per Shastra. If we know the outcome is not good, he is not bound to fight. That is also our Shastra says that. Right. So he continues with the similar. Now he started with sin part, and also he started with Kulakchaya. Now he's taking it forward in the next verse. He will be talking about the Kulakchaya. Destruction of family tradition. So we'll recite this one. So we'll be starting fourth reason here. Kulakchaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam kritsan dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmo abhibhavyata kulakchaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam Krishnam actually kritsam dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmo abhibhavtyayu adharmo abhibhavtyuta Very from Prabhupada.
Kulakshaya, Shanti,
Kulakshaya pranashyanti
Sanatana,
kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmo abhibhavtyuta Anyone from Bangladesh? Kulakshaya pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam kritsnam Translation by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Right? जब कुलक्षय, ठीक, family traditions are lost. what it will, how that will be lost? Because elders are killed. Everyone is fighting the war. When elders are killed, the Kulakshaya, elders are the one who pass on from generation to generation. If they are killed, who will be passing that Kul Dharma to the next generation? And if Kul Dharma is not passed, then the families or the population will become irreligious, right? So he is starting his fourth one. That losing uh, sorry, the fourth reason he started, losing family tradition. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned in his purport, in the system of Varnasrama institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying process in the family, bringing them, beginning from birth to death. Right. So here comes the word Kula Dharma, the Kulakshaya, Kula Dharma. Because elders are killed, there are no one else who will be passing that, who will be passing, you can see the elder is passing the knowledge to the grandson, right in this photo. There will no one would be there to pass this knowledge, the Kul Dharma. Then people or the population will become irreligious, they'll become like a little demons. Right? So the Kul Dharma word comes here. Okay. What is Kul Dharma? What do we think about Kul Dharma? क्या होता
As
है?
per our word on.
आप वो छोड़ दीजिए जो आपने पिछला परपोर्ट पढ़ा. Leave that. When you hear the word Kul Dharma before the class, what do you think about Kul Dharma? Family tradition. Like what?
A clan to which we belong to, we need to follow the rituals of that clan.
Okay. So we have to follow the rituals of the clan which we belong to. What else? Okay. That is मतलब one of the Kul Dharma, but that's one of a subset of Kul Dharma. Okay. Uh, so that is also Kul Dharma, all the good religious activities. What else?
जो our ancestors used to follow some tradition, so following that tradition which we are saying.
Following the tradition and the rituals which our ancestors used to follow. Right? That is Kul Dharma. So that's what we think. That is the Kul Dharma. Right. But then what is the real Kul Dharma? आप जो बता रहे थे आप बोलो. अभी नहीं दिखेगा. अब guess.
So, as per our word, or as per our capability, the work that we are supposed to do, we are supposed to follow that in the right order.
Correct.
Towards the benefit of the society.
Yeah. So this Kul Dharma, actually what it means that there are a lot of Kul Dharma nowadays, like every caste, every clan, every community, think, think of every state also, they have a different kind of Kul. Even family, there are families which have their own traditions to follow, right? The people who belong to similar kind of caste also, they will be having two different Kul Dharma. So Kul Dharma today's days has become a amalgam of all the things. Take a lot of things from here and there, यहाँ से उठाओ, वहाँ से उठाओ, make a Deen Ilahi kind of dharma. Take all the good things from all those places, and yes, that is why Kul Dharma. But Kul Dharma are not that. Actual meaning of Kul Dharma is there are something prescribed duties, prescribed rituals for each varnasrama. कौन वर्णाश्रम क्या होता है? चार वर्ण कौन से होते हैं? बताओ. वो आश्रम है. वर्ण, चार वर्ण कौन से? तो ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय, वैश्य, शूद्र, राइट? ये चार वर्ण है. एंड आश्रम ब्रह्मचर्य, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ और संन्यास. ये चार आश्रम है. So for each of these, there is a prescribed duties. What has to be done, what should be done, and these are what rituals should be done. Right? So not all the rituals can be done by, like something which is done by Brahmana, it will not be allowed to be done by, or it should not be recommended to be done by Vaishya or क्या कहते हैं, Kshatriya. Right? Similarly, something which can be done in the Grihast in the grihast setup, it will not be allowed to be done in the sannyas ashram. Right? So each things are done that way. That is the real meaning of Kul Dharma. Not the one like what we are following, family traditions. कि मेरे घर में तो हर इस दिन पे यहाँ पे जाके पूजा होती थी तो हम ये this is my family tradition because this has it become like that. But these are not the old ones. The newer ones which you see in our families are not actually old ones. They are came like hardly some 20, 30, 100 years back, not more than that. And a lot of things are based on mental speculation, not having any basis in the scriptures. Right. So it's a very misunderstood concept, really. What is Kul Dharma? And it is as misunderstood that will that when there is even a little deviation from that, कि आपके घर वाले कुछ करते आ रहे हैं, your grandfather are doing something, and then you say, अरे ये सब बकवास हम नहीं करेंगे. The moment you say, हाँ हाँ बाहर जाके बड़े आदमी बन गए हो, ज्यादा पढ़ लिख लियो, ज्यादा कमाने लगे हो, ये वो, ठीक है, 50 टॉन्ट आ जाएंगे आपके लिए, ठीक, and a lot of things. That happens, right? There's a huge hue and cry if there is a even little deviation done for this. But then we have to think that, or if the deviation is for the good cause, it is something which is good. Like, जैसे माता जी ने बोला, if the deviation from that is, okay, पहले हम पूजा करते थे 8 बजे से, now let's do that puja in the Brahma Muhurt. It is for the good cause. It is going to set things more standard. So that kind of deviation should actually be good. But the problem is, अच्छी चीजें follow नहीं होती है. Hey, जो बुरी चीजें family tradition wise, all the good traditions are not followed. Our grandfather's time, hey, there used to be big temple in the house. Every day वहाँ पे flower लगाते थे, माला चढ़ाते थे कुछ. Then at father's time, photo हो गई, ठीक. Nowadays, you don't really see the मूर्ति पूजा and all those things. उसकी जगह फोटो ने ले ली है. अलग अलग जगह से 50 भगवान की फोटो लाएंगे, सबको एक साथ सजा देंगे, and that will become our कुल धर्मा. ठीक. हमारे टाइम पे आया, फोटो भी नहीं, हाँ 5 मिनट जाके भगवान का नाम ले लेंगे, हो गया. बच्चे के टाइम पे अरे छोड़ो ना यार, क्या जरूरत. So it is कुलक्षय. कुल धर्मा धीरे 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 it is getting diminished. Right? Why? Because then there is no spiritual basis, there is no क्या कहते हैं, बहुत सारे कुल धर्म ऐसे हैं जिसका कोई एक स्पिरिचुअल बेसिस नहीं है. एंड एक ये कुल धर्म है, दूसरा कुछ कुल धर्म है, ठीक. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दैट. कि बुरे कुल धर्म, लाइक दिस, यू सी द फोटो, couple of photos. Anyone know what is the first one? Bali Pratra. Right? This kind of kul dharma is sincerely followed without any deviation. ठीक, everyone would follow. Yes, इस दिन माता के सामने बलि चढ़ा के हमें मीट खाना है, आज तो पार्टी, ठीक. Because that is related to our sense gratification. This will be easily followed. No one would leave it. So in Bangalore, there is one occasion which comes where on that occasion, like thousands of goats are sacrificed. And I'm talking about our own dharma here. I'm not talking about other dharma. Thing. Forget about the other thing. Even our dharma, this thing is being followed. Thing. Like thousands, when I say it's around 1-2,000, 20, 30,000 in lakhs, goats are brought in and they are killed in the name of Bali. Right? That some people in the Bangalore temple, some devotee who joined this call, and they are like, mat karo, this is not good, follow Westernism and don't do this thing. How dare you say, this is our Kul Dharma. How can you say it is not followed? तुम लोग तो इस्कॉन वाले हो गए हो, ठीक है, तुम लोग तो यही सब करोगे. You guys have lost your mind completely. Some tradition you are forgetting, right? Will follow your tradition, you get lost. So that kind of thing, hue and cry among all the elder people of the community. How dare you say not to do this thing? So if you try to put things on a good way, on a better path, on a more spiritual path, there will always be high resistance. But at the same time you say, okay, meat के साथ एक वो भी हो जाए, ठीक है, अभी यहाँ मंदिर में नहीं करेंगे, बाहर थोड़ा किनारे जाके पिएंगे, Kul Dharma. Perfect. Let's continue. And because of that reason, you see the second photo. Government has to put on that day a dry day, and this is the Pune. Even in Telangana, this happens. Anyone knows what is the history of Ganesh Puja? We all do. Like we all participate in Ganesh Puja. Correct? Ganesh Chaturthi. Ganesh Puja with Ganesh Chaturthi. Ganesh Prasad. Anyone knows the history of that? When it was started?
1960s.
नहीं नहीं अब बहुत बाद है
During the British rule, right to people.
हाँ right it started in early 90s जब बाल गंगाधर तिलक ने that time it was धारा 144 अभी तो उसका नाम बदल गया होगा so the section 144 says that 5 or more people cannot gather together at one place like even now it is used to maintain the danga and all so it started at that time there was an act by Britishers and before that there was no Ganesh procession by the way it is a very recent phenomenon just 100 years old right but now it is Kul Dharma every single society you will see this happening because how if that guy is doing if I'll not do then how am I dharmic कैसे मुझे बोला जाएगा कि I am religious I have to show my religiosity by doing this right so it started to unite Hindus because that time it was a need of the hour it was the need of the hour to bring people together so that the formulation of the strategies for freedom fighting can happen. That's how information were passed. But then it became Kul Dharma. But it does not have any spiritual basis. Now, because it does not have any spiritual basis, these things happen there. See, at least I have not seen that thing in Telangana or very less. But most of the places you'll go to remote areas, what you'll see, people are completely drunk. It's a horrible scene. People are completely drunk, playing loud music, DJ music, filmy music in the full volume, causing inconvenience of everyone. Right? The only purpose of this kapda phad ke dance karu daru. That is the only purpose of celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi nowadays. A lot of places. I'm not saying everyone does that. But that's how most of the position you will see. The kind of music they play. Right? The kind of dance they do. Right. It's a little better in Telangana, but it's a very horrible scene in Mumbai and Pune and nearby areas. Right. Because it does not have any scriptural basis. अगर scriptural basis होगा, then people will come. No, this is not correct. You don't do this. But it does not have. Then this is being followed. Right. This is the problem. That becomes a Kul Dharma. Now everyone is doing it, so we also have to. Correct. So that becomes a Kul Dharma and everyone is following that. Like that, a lot of things comes up. So these Kul Dharma are nothing but a lot of time this comes from the political region, social region, economical region. These sometime in the past, these are just came up like this one, right? And then it became a Kul Dharma, it got followed. But that is not the Kul Dharma. It is not a prescribed duty as per any of the Varnas. Right? It is not dharmam tu sachat bhagwan pranitam. भगवान ने ये नहीं कहा है करने के लिए. Right? So that's not really Kul Dharma. But there could be Kul Dharma which can be followed. Like if says that भोग लगा के ही खाना है, रोज सुबह तुलसी आरती करनी है. Those things, if in family suddenly it started, it was not being followed before. Let's say some of you people go back and then you start, okay, हम रोज हम तुलसी आरती करेंगे और अगर रोज नहीं हो सकता हफ्ते में एक बार करेंगे. We'll eat only bhoga. That has a scriptural basis. उसमें शास्त्रों के अनुसार हम कर रहे हैं. ठीक, that kind of Kul Dharma, even if it starts late, 2025 में शुरू हो रहा है. ठीक, that's a good Kul Dharma to follow. Right? Not a bad Kul Dharma. But human tendency, good things aside, enjoy. YOLO, you live only once. You only live once, right? Take live life king size. So we'll do that. अरे एक ही तो लाइफ दिया भगवान ने क्या करना है अगली बार पता नहीं क्या मिलेगा क्या नहीं मिलेगा इसी बार जो किंगफिशर की बॉटल मिली है बस वो यूज करो ठीक नेक्स्ट टाइम वी डोंट नो राइट सो दैट थिंग कीप्स ऑन फॉलोइंग And ignorant people, then they think that this is dharma, right? So a lot of time happens that even when people comes in Krishna consciousness, and this kul dharma is very powerful, very strong, living that उसको छोड़ना इतना आसान होता नहीं है. अरे हम तो बचपन से करते आ रहे हैं, ऐसे कैसे छोड़ रहे हैं? हाँ, जब से पैदा हुए हैं अपने अपने नानी को, अपने मम्मी को, अपने सास को यही करते देखा, अपने पापा मम्मी को, सबको यही करते देखा, ऐसे कैसे हम छोड़ दें? तो इवन दो पीपल कम्स इन कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में आने के बाद भी उनके लिए कई बार बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है इसको छोड़ना, क्योंकि उसका अटैचमेंट ऐसा होता है. क्यों क्यों आपको लगता है क्यों इतना डिफिकल्ट है? कोई रीजन? जैसे यहाँ पे एक पूजा हो रही है, वट सावित्री पूजा, ठीक, जाके उसके मतलब वट वृक्ष के अराउंड हमें क्या कहते हैं, कोई थ्रेड हम बांधते हैं, राइट, एंड देन वी डू फॉर सम पर्पस. आई एम नॉट रियली श्योर, मम्मी आप बता सकते क्यों करते हैं? पति की लॉन्ग लाइफ के लिए, ठीक है, ओके, तो इसलिए लोग करते हैं, ठीक. दूसरा एक ये कोडायली देवी है, उनकी ये लोग पूजा कर रहे हैं. इस फोटो को मैं थोड़ा सा एनलार्ज करता हूँ. आप इस फोटो में बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज आपको दिखेगी, ठीक. सारे भगवान है तो ठीक है, कोई भी कहीं भी है, ठीक. किसी का कोई प्लेस डिफाइन है, बस जिस ऑर्डर में जो आ गया तो वहां रख दो, ठीक. तो इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग. और बिकॉज दिस इज इतना पावरफुल, इतना अटैचमेंट लोगों को होता है कि वो छोड़ नहीं पाते, इवन तो उनको पता है. हम 50 बार, अब तो वी आर ऑल 8-9 महीने 1 साल पुराने हो गए, वी ऑल नो, राइट. अगर रूट में पानी डालेंगे एवरीथिंग विल ऑटोमेटिकली बी नॉरिश्ड. तो यू कैन डू ऑल दोस थिंग बट देन यू आर सिंपली वेस्टिंग योर टाइम. भगवान भगवत गीता में साफ साफ कहते हैं, when you do worship of any देवी देवता, you are ultimately worshipping me only, क्योंकि in the end मुझे ही उसका वो, I am the भोक्ता, I am the enjoyer, I will be getting the result of it. भगवान भी कहते हैं, then why to, but still people cannot let go of those things. They're like यार हम बचपन से करते आ रहे हैं, ऐसे कैसे छोड़ दें? ठीक, भले ही सब कुछ पता है, वो इतना आसान नहीं होता इसको छोड़ना, राइट. सो कैसे इसको मतलब, और एनी अदर रीजन, मतलब व्हाट यू ऑल आर थिंकिंग, व्हाट अदर रीजन कुड बी देयर कि हम नहीं छोड़ पा रहे? हाँ? अच्छा, एक क्वेश्चन उससे पहले, हम क्यों छोड़ नहीं पाते छोड़िए, हमें करना क्यों है? व्हाट इज द रीजन व्हाई टू डू, व्हाई वी शुड डू दैट, ऑल दोस थिंग्स? हाँ, हाँ, करेक्ट. बहुत सारे रीजन होता है, क्योंकि अगर नहीं करेंगे तो मम्मी कहेंगी ये देखो नई जनरेशन आई, बहू ने छोड़ दिया सब कुछ, ठीक. और क्या रीजन है?
मेरे केस में जो है मतलब मेरी मम्मी की मौसी है या मौसेरी बहन, मेरे को सही से ध्यान नहीं आ रहा है, उनके फैमिली में था कि जब घर में बेटा पैदा होता है तो माँ को अपना सिर मुंडाना होता था.
अच्छा, हाँ, ऐसा मतलब बहुत जगह होता है.
So she didn't follow that tradition,
हाँ,
and probably in 3 years of time frame, a lot of bad things started happening, like आंखों की रोशनी चली गई, कुछ बच्चों की किन्हीं के कान में कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो गया. Then somebody said कि जो है you did not follow this thing, so you'll have to follow this ritual.
और जब उन्होंने फॉलो किया तो सब ठीक हो गया.
Yes, everything came back to normal. So probably something must have attached to that family, which is keeping a constant watch.
It is there. It's not like these traditions are completely useless, right?
So
But again, the thing is, किस intention से आप करते हैं? These all pujas are done to get benefit, the material benefit from that. और जो आपने बोला, that is a material benefit. ठीक, कि आंखों की रोशनी रहेगी, ये रहेगा, वो रहेगा, राइट. और बाकी बहुत सारी चीजें, बट सावित्री पूजा करते हैं पति की नाम में, और क्योंकि दे आर नॉट गोइंग फॉर द हायर ऑर्डर. एक सिंपल सा एग्जांपल आई कैन टेक दैट, ठीक, कि आपकी कंपनी में आपको एक मतलब यू हैव क्या कहते हैं, एक सीईओ है, एक मैनेजर है और एक आप हो, ठीक. आप मैनेजर को भी खुश नहीं रख रहे हो और सीईओ को तो आप जानते ही नहीं हो और उसके बाद आप काम भी नहीं करते हो, ठीक, व्हाट विल हैपन टू यू? गॉन, राइट? पहला ले ऑफ होगा ये बंदा कुछ भी नहीं करता है, और भले ही आप काम करते हो, अगर मैनेजर से लड़ाई हुई, पहला आप जीरो डाउट, फर्स्ट विल बी यू, राइट? बट देन लेट्स से आपका मैनेजर आपसे खुश नहीं है, you have some fight with him, but you know the CEO, he is very happy with you, then what will happen? No problem, right? If your CEO knows and manager also knows, अरे यार ये तो CEO का खास बंदा है, मैं क्या ही कर लूंगा, they cannot do anything, right? So they got this thing. If they got it, I'm not saying they might not got it because of that reason, but if they got this thing because they are not yet at the higher level, they are still at the lower level and they are not even following the lower level, right? या आप मैनेजर को, आप सीईओ को तो जानते नहीं हो, मैनेजर को भी खुश नहीं रख रहे हो, किसी को तो खुश रखो ताकि आपका कुछ बेनिफिट हो। ना तो इधर, ना तो ये भी खुश है, ना तो वो खुश है, तो फिर तो आपको कुछ भी नहीं मिलने वाला है, ऑब्वियसली। दैट वाज द रीजन, दैट कुड हैव बीन द रीजन। हाँ,
स्टोरीज की, फॉर एग्जाम्पल चाइनीज ट्रेडिशन जो होता है उसमें भी लोग ज्यादा फेथ रखते हैं, फेथ इन गॉड एंड सच, सुपरस्टिशंस एंड व्हाटएवर। सो इसके लिए स्टोरी आता है कि जब लेट होता है तो लेट में एकदम एंडिंग में घर में ऑल द नेगेटिविटी
close towards that.
T point से नहीं लेना चाहिए. So that is what they say. So how now T point पे था and then something started to happen. वो ज़्यादा ही कुछ मतलब इन सारी बातों में believe करते थे and they started to intensify their prayers and started to close the windows and started to write different things and paste it on the window and do some really bad rituals. So basically, लगता है कि तुम जितना इस चीज में मानते हैं, पे करते हैं,
Absolutely.
वो उतना इफेक्ट करती है हमें, even though it is not. So, our surroundings, हमारी surroundings वैसे ही shape करती है जैसे हम सोचते हैं.
Right. So these things, I'm not saying that these things don't work. They are true. They do work. मतलब वास्तुशास्त्र फालतू का कोई वो नहीं है कि वास्तुशास्त्र हम नहीं मानेंगे। Even when temples are being built, even तो भगवान का घर है, that also follows वास्तुशास्त्र। ये सब ऐसे फालतू चीजें नहीं है। But the point here is not that. What level we are, we have to follow that. If we are at the lower level, then yes, we have to follow all the ritual. But then if we are aiming, our purpose is to go to higher level, then these things do not matter at all. God will take care. Surrender का मतलब ही क्या है? If we will not surrender to the God. अगर हम ये कहेंगे भगवान, हाँ भगवान हम आपकी पूजा कर रहे हैं, साथ में हम वट सावित्री माता की भी पूजा कर लेते हैं ताकि हमारे पति को लंबी लाइफ मिले, साथ में हम लक्ष्मी देवी की भी पूजा कर लेते हैं ताकि हमें पैसा मिले, साथ में हम गणेश जी की भी पूजा करते हैं ताकि हमारा काम सारा आसान हो, तो आप भगवान को मान कहाँ रहे हो जब आप सब कुछ कर रहे हो? You are asking every single thing from every single person. You are not really surrendering to the God because you don't have faith yet. आपके पास वो फेथ है ही नहीं कि आप सरेंडर करो, इसीलिए आप हर जगह जा रहे हो। साईं बाबा से भी मांग लेंगे, बीमारी नहीं ठीक हो रही है, जाते साईं बाबा से मांग लेते मेरी बीमारी ठीक हो जाए। We do that. A lot of people do that. In this temple, you go to a lot of places, you see. एक बार मैं अपने घर पे क्या, मेरी मम्मी साईं बाबा को बहुत मानती है, इधर राम जी की मूर्ति, उधर साईं बाबा की। मैंने कहा आपको लगता है कि साईं बाबा राम जी के इक्विवेलेंट है? अगले दिन से वो हट गया। ठीक, लोग सोचते समझते नहीं कि क्या कैसे रखना है। When we say supreme personality of Godhead, you cannot put anyone equivalent to them. ठीक, हमें अपने टेम्पल भी ऐसे जाके देखना चाहिए कि हाउ इट इज अरेंज्ड। सबकी पोजीशन एक नहीं है। ठीक, यू कैन पुट अ लिटिल थिंग्स जिसके ऊपर आप रखिए भगवान को, ठीक, बट देन इट हैज टू बी प्रॉपर्ली अरेंज। ये नहीं कि ऊपर भगवान के ऊपर आप रखे हो साईं बाबा को, कुल देवता को भी रख दिए। देयर आर लॉट ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन व्हिच प्रमोट्स दैट, अरे बस आप कुल देवता की, यू जस्ट वर्शिप योर कुल देवता, दैट्स मोर देन इनफ। Where it is written, in which shastra it is written that you worship Kul Devata, everything will be done. Which Kul Devata gives liberation? Has any Kul Devata said that? अरे राजस्थान में आप जाएंगे मोटरसाइकिल वाले बाबा भी मिल जाएंगे. Yes, there is a bullet वाले बाबा. For some people he would be कुल देवता. ठीक, मेरे मेरे कुल देवता, ठीक, मेरे गांव में एक एक वो थे, फ्रीडम फाइटर थे, ठीक है, गिरजा बाबा, ठीक है, ही वाज फाइटिंग विद द ब्रिटिशर्स. ही इज कुल देवता. साल भर में शायद कभी कोई जाके उनकी पूजा करता है, बाकी टाइम उनका मंदिर ऐसे पड़ा रहता है. दैट इज a state. ठीक, क्या वो हमें लिबरेट करेंगे? पहले तो हम खुद फेथ नहीं करेंगे. ठीक, वी डोंट इवन हैव द फेथ टू इवन मेंटेन दैट प्लेस प्रॉपर. And then we say that ki kul devata is as equivalent to as God. No, it's not. Right. So ये सब चीजें हमें बहुत सोचनी पड़ेगी. God says that, Krishna says that all devata and devis work under him. Maya Devi, Durga Devi is nothing but a Maya Devi. Right. She works under him. ये material world को she takes care. She works under Krishna. Right. But if we think that she is as equivalent as to Krishna, that will not solve our problem. We'll never reach the टॉप मोस्ट गोल अगर हम उसी तरीके से सोचेंगे. तो इसलिए हमारे शास्त्र कहते हैं कि इट्स नॉट लाइक प्रमोटिंग वन गॉड. इज कौन वाले तो केवल कृष्णा कृष्णा करते रहते हैं, ठीक है. इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. ठीक, इट्स नॉट लाइक मैटर ऑफ प्रमोटिंग वन गॉड. इट इज व्हाट आवर स्क्रिप्चर से दैट. हर हमने डिस्कस किया था, सबका एक लेवल होता है. आप 2+2 एक केजी वाले बच्चे को सिखाओगे, बट आप एक 12th वाले बच्चे को 2+2 नहीं सिखाओगे. यू टेल हिम इंटीग्रेशन एंड दिस, क्या बोलते हैं, डिफरेंशिएशन. मुझे डिसइंटीग्रेशन भी आता है. यू विल नॉट टीच देम दिस. अब आप उसको क्लास में बैठे कि ओ मैं तो मैथ्स का टीचर हूँ, फर्स्ट टाइम आई केम, सो लेट वी स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच. 2+2 is equal to 4. 12th की क्लास में जाके. No, you don't have to. Right? Their level is so higher. When you are going to teach them, you teach them the higher thing. When we are here, we'll teach you like what you need to know is higher thing. And there was a time that when we were like kind of not knowing anything, हम atheist थे या जो भी थे, ठीक है, तब कुछ नहीं पता था, तो we started with the lower thing. But as we progress, we should think, is our progress is being done in a proper way or not? Think, whatever thing we are doing, like whatever decision we are taking, whatever activity we are doing, is it going to give us progress in our spiritual path or not? Right. So maybe बुरा लग सकता है ये कि केवल कृष्णा को प्रमोट कर रहे हैं, but truth is truth. श्रील प्रभुपाद कहते थे, श्रील प्रभुपाद कहते थे, I'm not here to please anyone. लोग दुखी हो, I don't care. I'm not here to be diplomatic and please everyone who is in this. I'm here to tell the truth. And truth is truth, absolute truth. No one can change. Right? Maybe people will not come from tomorrow, but the truth will not change. Just because I think मेरे पापा ने ऐसा कहा था तो ये सब बराबर ही होंगे, ठीक. Just because I think or someone told that doesn't become truth. Right? How about it?
So we understand that Krishna is a big family members, we all understand. And I think we have their own way of setting up the temples. So one way is we start doing our own way and then do not care. And the other is have patience and let Krishna also give them intelligence that they also understand.
Preaching activity, when you say preaching, is not only कि जब यहाँ बैठ के भाषण दे तो उसको preaching कहते हैं. Preaching is even if you are telling anything about Krishna to your family, to your friends, that is also preaching. एक आप उनको book भी देते हो, that is preaching. One story comes in the same line. मतलब एक महाराज थे, तो उनकी एक डिसाइपल थी लेडी, एंड शी वाज अ वेरी मतलब एडवांस डिसाइपल नहीं कहूँ, बट बहुत डेडिकेटेड डिसाइपल थी, ठीक. एंड द हस्बैंड ऑफ हर, ही वाज लाइक, ठीक है तुम करते हो करो, आई डोंट केयर. ही वाज अ बिजनेसमैन and he was like, I don't have interest in all those things. Once upon a time I was into same stage, right? So I don't have interest in all those things. So तुमको जो करना है करो, ठीक है, बाकी leave me alone. I will do what I want. So she kept on doing. So she asked like, मेरे husband कुछ नहीं करते. She asked Maharaj. So Maharaj said, don't worry, मतलब you just give him prasadam. Don't do anything. Right? You just give him prasadam. You do your thing. You don't leave your sadhana. Right? You don't leave your क्या कहते हैं, chanting and all those things, right? Your puja and sadhana, chanting and everything. But with them, you can at the right time you can tell things. If there is like a conflict, just leave the place. Just keep on giving them prasadam. So he came back, like he used to travel here and there. He came back after some years, 18, 20 years. He met that he had to go to one house. Right. He had to go to one house for the lecture. So he went there. It was that Mataji's house. And then Prabhuji has arranged all the thing. He invited all those people. He was wearing dhoti kurta, having tilak, and like behaving with everyone in a Vaishnav manner. They were really surprised. How did that happen? Right. So he asked, like, you were completely empty of this thing, and then what happened? So what that Prabhuji told, she was a very different person before she went into Krishna consciousness. Like she was like completely materialistic, ready to fight for every single thing, the smallest thing, and a lot of negativity. But since she came here, I'm seeing gradually, she became a completely different person now. A person which is an ideal, think as someone I would like to follow. If whatever, like even if I don't believe Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and this and that, but I'm seeing the change in the person. If this particular way, if this particular path changes such kind of person, there must be something good. Right? That changed me. This is what he told Maharaj. आप भी धीरे धीरे करते रहिए, ठीक. People will see the change in you. Action speaks louder than words. ठीक. अगर आप उनको सुनाने समझाने जाएंगे, मेरे साथ ऐसा होता है, मैं मम्मी पापा को सुनाता हूँ, ठीक है, कभी तो लड़ाई ही होती है, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं होता है, ठीक. ना तो वो समझने वाले, ना तो मैं समझने वाला. It ends up only in fight, right? But when we do good thing, ठीक है, people see, people observe, people follow, right? Every good thing people see and follow, right? कल को there was a time I used to, मतलब a lot of people, ठीक है, मैं अपना एग्जांपल लूंगा. I used to say a lot of bad words also. Now I don't say that. ठीक. People were initially, मतलब क्या, वो अगर मेरे सामने बोल भी देते, now they consciously avoid saying in front of me. ठीक. I also avoid, they also avoid. People change, and they also follow if there is good thing. Like, there are some people who will still do that, but it's okay. It's their nature. You cannot change. But at least we can have our own things. Right? We are clear. So what others do not matter. Okay. So, तो बस यही, that was all for today. Any questions? हाँ, क्या छोड़ा? Small topic आज भी मेरा गला खा. ठीक है, we'll discuss small topic 5 मिनट. ठीक. Okay. ठीक. One check करते हुए बेस्ट के पास एक पिक्चर रखता है. ये बेस्ट में जैसे बात कीजिए, वो बैंक हाँ.